recently with Tommy Wilcox. But come get you some. That phrase has become synonymous with hunting and fishing all over the state of Alabama and really the Southeast, Tommy. And good morning. I think that reflects how popular your show has become. 17 years on the air. And that catchphrase, come get you some, says it all. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, Gary. Y'all?
Doing really well.
Good.
I'm glad to catch up. We haven't, as I said, visited in a while, and I want to touch on a number of topics. But first, just to remind people, because we live in a short attention span society, and millennials certainly have enjoyed what Nick Saban has done. But Tommy played under the legendary Paul Bear Bryant. He was the SEC Freshman of the Year in 1979. He was a three-time All-SEC defender, twice selected as a first-team All-American. He's in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. He's on the University of Alabama's All-Century team, was the Arizona Wranglers Defensive Rookie of the Year, and then played for the Chicago Blitz and would have played in the NFL had, I assume, Tommy, you not failed the physical with the Denver Broncos. I've never asked you that. Would you have gone ahead, had you passed that physical, would you have tried to play in the NFL, or were you ready to hang it up after the USFL anyway?
No, I had a signed contract with the Broncos, a tryout, but it was all depending on whether I could pass the, my physical. So, and I couldn't pass it. So that was it, man.
See, that was the price you paid for being the Alabama Hammer. Too many big licks it caught up with you. But still a fantastic career. The one thing missing from that resume, and I'm still bothered by it, is the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. I gotta rekindle that crusade to get you in. They gotta get you in there at some point.
Man. I've been blessed so much, man. I mean, stuff like that really doesn't. I don't think about any of that stuff. I've been blessed to get to do something that I love doing and helping people that are less fortunate and making wishes come true for kids with cancer and stuff like that. I don't lose any sleep over all that football stuff. That's long gone.
I know, but it bothers me, and I've nominated you before. I need to call back over there and just remind them that you need to be in. Let's start with Tommy Wilcox Outdoors, as I said. And when you and I started this, well, you started it, but you called me, and I was your initial producer and editor and helped you get the show off the ground. Hunting and fishing shows don't last 17 years. I don't care where they're at, wasn't it? Just amazing. And you started that show with a dream, and at one time you featured, so many country music celebrities, I can't even keep up with them. Red Akins, the late Joe Diffie, Jeff Cook, Sammy Kershaw, Hank Williams Jr., a lot. Luke Bryan, Jake Owen. Yeah, some of the biggest names. And now in recent years, you've become more focused, as you said, on helping the physically challenged to get hunt and fish. But the show just continues to be successful. Give us some insight on what all is happening with it right now.
Yes, the same thing. We still run on WVUA. We also stream everything that we do on YouTube. So if you, anytime you want to watch any of our episodes, you can just go to Tommy Wilcox Outdoors on YouTube. And all our shows are on there, so you can watch it anytime you want. And you can watch whatever show you want to watch. And we've got all our fishing, hunting, you name it, is on YouTube, so it's available 24/7. And if you do, you can go on YouTube and hit Tommy Wilcox Outdoors, and you can click on the subscribe button. That way, every time a new show is posted on there, it'll notify you. But we run on WVUA. We've been thankful to those guys. And, Gary, I couldn't have done it without you. You're the one that I had a dream, but you're the one that helped make it come true, so I appreciate that, man.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I tell you, I miss it sometimes. I miss traveling and going to those hunting lodges all over the South and fishing in the Gulf, and it was we had a blast. But I'm glad that the show continues on and it's still associated with WVUA 23 after all these years. I know you said football is in the rearview mirror, but I do want to reflect on some things because again I kind of laid out your resume. But You were one of those many quarterbacks that Coach Bryant signed in that 78 signing class, and coming out of the New Orleans area where you were first team All-State and had a great resume. And you came here as a quarterback. And that first year, you've told me this story before, but as a redshirt freshman, you were running scout team quarterback against the likes of Krause and Wingo, and and maybe that's why you didn't pass the physical with the Broncos. You took a pretty good beating that year, didn't you, Tommy?
Oh, it was horrible, man. That was child abuse. I mean, it was. You got to look at it from the point where when you was in high school, you were considered the man. You know what I mean? You were it, and then within about a 9-month period, you were getting thrown to the ground, stomped on. They could care less about you. Nobody knew who you were. So it was a time where you really had to suck it up and fight through it, because if you didn't have a little in you, and a lot of kids did make it. So, it made me the person I am today. So I don't regret any of it now.
And the interesting story is that after that 78 season, you were frustrated. You did go home to New Orleans with the thought process of maybe not coming back. Coach Bryant came down there and got you. And then the discussion that changed your career, he wanted you to come back, but he told you point blank, you can compete for the quarterback job moving forward, or you can move to defense, and I think you have a chance to play right away, and you wanted to play. That the rest is history. But what was that like? You go from getting beat up by these guys to all of a sudden, as a true freshman, you're starting at safety, and in some case, you're calling the signals for the secondary. You became a leader and had to that was a loaded defense at 79, one of the best ever. You're talking about juniors and seniors, and here's a true freshman in there. What was that transition like? Was it tough?
Man, it was tough at first, and when you look through the huddle and you got E.J. Jr., who was an All-American. You had, I don't know how many doggone people were just all conference at that time. And, you had the linebackers called the front, whether it was going to be in a 50 front or 70 front or whatever. And then the strong safety is the guy that called the secondary to match that. So at first it was my mind. Sometimes they would call the front, and I was trying to think, all right, well, what coverage goes with that? But Coach Bryant was just so good about us being prepared mentally and physically that within a few months I kind of got the knack of it, and everything worked out good. But it was at first, man. It was pretty tough because there was a lot of great players on that team, and they counted on you, and I counted on them, and so you were, you had to give it your all, man, or they'd hold your foot to the fire,
5 shutouts that year in 79. 5 shutouts. In 12 games, you gave up, let me see here, 9, 26, 33, 40, 58, 67 points in 12 games, Tommy. 5 shutouts.
Think about it. They give up 60 points a game now.
It's a little bit different. And you step into that season as you said, and you had great players on that defense. Thomas Boyd, Byron Braggs.
Randy Scott was great. Warren Lyles at that nose guard was unbelievable. We had
Wayne Hamilton, EJ.
Yeah, Wayne Hamilton, EJ Jr. My goodness.
Eddie Lowe.
Don McNeil, all-pro cornerback with the Dolphins. He was on the corner.
I think was Curtis McGriff still on that team?
He was, yeah.
He was a big man.
He was a big boy.
Yeah, y'all didn't give up much. So you win a national championship in your first year. I guess after you came back and had that season, you felt pretty good about your decision to return to Tuscaloosa, huh?
Right. Yeah. I always say, man, things work out for a reason, and God's got a plan for your life, and He definitely had one for mine. You know, I don't know. I look back and just sometimes say, man, what would have happened had I not? You know, and so it's. I am so thankful for the opportunity that Coach Bryant thought enough of me to come back down, fly down there by himself and get me. I mean, I've had coaches, Gary, you know, years after that would come by and say, dude, do you know how lucky you are? And I'd say, well, what are you talking about? I go, for Coach Bryant to fly down by himself and get you, he never did that for anybody. So he must have really thought the world of you, you know. And when a coach tells you that, puts that into context, I mean, it really made me feel good back then, you know.
Well, it should have. Again, that's just an amazing story, and I get chill bumps listening to it. To think about Coach Bryant flying down to Louisiana by himself to flat out tell you you're not quitting. And it changed your life.
Oh yeah,
for the better. By the way, Joe Gaither just put out a Twitter question: should Tommy Wilcox be inducted into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame? So far, 5 votes, and they're all yes. So, although Joe shorted you a little bit, he had you as a 2-time All SEC. It was a 3-time, Joe.
I was just reading off the Wikipedia. I'm sorry.
Okay, 3-time All SEC, 2-time First Team All American. But we got that out. So maybe you can retweet it, Tommy. Where we're at right now, I know none of us have ever seen anything like it in the pandemic, and I know you're busy with your show and your family. You're a grandfather now. You got 3 little grandsons, and you're staying busy with that. But sports have just been stopped, and college football is, in question going forward. How devastating would it be for this community and these communities all over the SEC if we don't have college football this fall, Tommy?
Oh, it'd be horrible, and not just for the fans, for the kids involved. I mean, I just could not imagine that my senior year would be canceled. I can't imagine these kids or teams that had a chance for the Final Four in basketball, you know, that thing would get canceled. I mean, like you said, we've never seen anything like that. And then now, you know, there's no spring practice, and you know what type of impact that will have. And are we going to have fall games? And you know, is everybody going to participate? Is all the schools around the country going to participate? Because some areas are worse than other areas. So, yeah, there's still a lot to be questioned whether it's going to happen or not. But I think the fans, we want it regardless. But I'm telling you, those players, they really want to play, man. That they really want to get back to doing their thing. And hopefully those who are seniors will get a chance to, you know, play their senior year.
Yeah, you just hope so. I know we have to try to stay safe, but, man, I just can't imagine going through a fall without college football. Visiting with Tommy Wilcox from the University of Alabama, and now, of course, the host of Tommy Wilcox Outdoors. Folks may not remember this, but in the early 2000s, Tommy was my analyst as we did some tape-delayed Alabama football telecast, and that's kind of how we got to know each other, and that led to Tommy Wilcox Outdoors. But we did some games, and Alabama was competing hard and had some moments, but it wasn't the Alabama that you know Coach Bryant had built and that you played for on national championship teams, and it was an Alabama that was struggling to find a spot in back in the hierarchy of the SEC. And then Nick Saban comes in, Tommy, and the rest is history. I've said this often. I know Alabama's got a lot of tradition. Football's important, but to have 2 coaches at the same program, the magnitude of Bryant and Saban, and that, you know, and then add in Frank Thomas and Gene Stallings and Wallace Wade. Right. But to have 2 dynasties, one of which you played on, and now to have the one that Coach Saban has built, could you have ever imagined that when he came here?
No, I never thought anybody could in college football nationally could ever come and do what Coach Bryant did. And, there's a lot of great analysts that they said the same thing. That, there's no way with scholarship limitations and this and that there'll ever be a dynasty again. And I think Coach Saban came in here and just proved everybody wrong. He's done an unbelievable job, and it seemed like he reinvents himself every year because he loses so many assistant coaches that he's just got a year in and year out. He's just think about how hard that's got to be on a coach. You know what I mean? To start over just about every couple of years, and the man's done it. And so my hat's off to him. He's one hell of a coach, and he ought to go down in his era as the best ever.
No doubt about it, and he's not done, and that's the beauty of it. Is I think he's 68, but he's a young 68, and
right.
Yeah, I think it's a few more years. But Tommy, I've enjoyed visiting with you again. Before I let you go, just remind folks. I know they're watching on WVUA 23. You mentioned the YouTube channel. One more time, how they can follow Tommy Wilcox Outdoors.
All right, we're on WVUA 23. We're on there every Sunday night at 10:30. So right after the news at night, just keep watching. We'll come on. If for some reason you miss it, you can go to YouTube and just type in Tommy Wilcox Outdoors, and all our shows will pull up. And you can just scroll through, and if you want to watch a fishing show, you can do that. If you want to watch a hunt show, you can do that. But please go in there and subscribe, because that way, anytime there's something new that we do, that we put on there, it'll automatically let you know, and then you can and then you can go to TommyWilcox.com and check my website out, and we'll also have things going on there from time to time too, so you can do that also. So I appreciate you, Gary.
Good to catch up with you, Tommy. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.